Jillian and Todd from Love It or Listed, welcome.
Thank you.
The musical version.
Yeah.
Could you do a little Tom Jones? You're
It's
rocking that.
not on June. No, I can't.
That was pretty good. Maybe
I love Tom Jones, though.
Yeah.
You know, the other day I was singing, and our sound guy
No,
goes...
she sounds more like Tom Jones, actually.
Our sound guy goes, Jill, I didn't know that you couldn't sing.
These voices, not so much.
Yeah, no.
You and I with the whiskey
raspy,
voices.
yeah.
Yes, you are here to talk about being at the Vancouver Home and Design Show, which is a big deal. You're there this evening at 7, tomorrow at 3 at 7.
Yes, well, I'm actually there all weekend because I have a booth as well.
Oh, nice.
But we are speaking at tonight at 7.
7 and 3 and 7 tomorrow.
And what are you
Yes.
talking about? Do tell. Give us a preview.
Well, you know, it's funny because Todd and I...
We get to pick on each other.
We
Which is what we're best at.
Yeah.
Cut each other off. Just like that.
Excuse me. We have a lot...
I'll just wait over here.
We fight a lot on the show, but we actually have a lot in common when it comes to renovations and buying and selling and whatnot. So we talk a little bit about our strengths, you know, separated, and then how they come together. And
It's settled for love or money.
yes.
Or love and money. And really, you know, Jill and I, when we walk through houses or when we look at renovations that have been done on the show, we sit back when we're not on camera. Normally, we agree.
Yeah.
And we just come at it from two different approaches. Jill's a more kind of... I don't know what.
Lovey.
From the heart.
From the heart, and you're just all about the money.
Well, I don't know. I like to have the
two,
plan, right?
Right.
So
I'm between the two of you and the love and money. I love my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of money, but I want to put the love into my house. So if I'm going to do that,
Right.
Yeah.
if you watching at home want to fix up your house, what should we do? Is it still the fix the kitchen, fix the bathroom, don't do anything from there to that? Like, give us the tips.
Well, and that is true. I mean, it sounds cliche and repetitive, but the kitchens and the bathrooms for sure. Because the rest of it really is all about aesthetic. I really believe, you know, you clean it all out, and when you put it all back in, it's like, you know, one of the things I've been saying many times for years, even before the show, is to inject your home with your personality and with a bit of soul and some love. So whether that be vintage pieces, you know, I've just started my new company, Charlie Ford Vintage, or whether it's pieces that you found in your parents' attic or things that you brought back from your travels. But like this space, for example, it's still modern, but there's a few vintage pieces in there. It's very simple, but there's a bit of soul in that space.
And Jillian, one of the things you touched on there is when you clean it all out and put it all back in, I find that when you are planning to move, you do that. You declutter, and then you put it all back together, and you paint those little spots and go, oh my God, I love my house.
I love my house, yeah.
Why didn't I do this 5 years ago when I was still living in this place?
Yeah,
right, yeah.
totally.
It's you know what? One of the other things that I like to see in a renovation is when spaces get maximized. And I know there was another picture as well where we went into this house that had this little sunroom off the back, and it was basically falling off the back of the house.
Yeah.
And so what they did is and Jill and her team renovated the sunroom, but then they put this little deck over top, and if you can see the mountains in the background. They couldn't maximize the view from this house until they put this deck on there. So now they've got space that they can use outside. They can maximize the view, and all of a sudden you walk upstairs and it transforms the upstairs.
Right, you stand outside and you're like, I'm buying this house.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So for the cost, they fall in love with their house again, and the cost of putting that on, I think they're going to get a great return on their investment.
Well, they're not going to because they're not moving because they love it and they're staying.
They decided not to list it. Here we go. Here we go. Love it or list it. You can catch it. These guys bicker like this all the time. We love it though because we root for both of you.
Oh,
you never know.
really?
Yeah, you kind of do. But sometimes you're like, oh,
I've yet
I
to
love
meet
that
someone
house.
who's rooted for Jill, so it's nice to meet you.
I just feel sorry for you, Todd.
Do you have one more tip for us before we run?
You know what? I think, and this is another thing that Todd and I talk about a lot, is when you're renovating, people always say, what's on trend? And I'm always like, don't worry about what's on trend. Those things you can do in the form of a throw pillow or something, but when it comes to solid surfaces and finishes and fixtures, think about what has been in for 100 years. I mean, it's no secret that I love antiques and I love vintage, but 100 years ago, it was marble countertops. It was white Carrera countertops, or wood.
Yes.
But, you know, stick with the basics. Light white finishes, start with light and airy. You know, sometimes people think, oh, I want charcoal and I want dark wood, and then they feel like they're closed in. And they always say, you know, when you sell your house, paint it white, and there's a reason for that. It's classic and it's timeless.
Opens it up. Thank you so much. The tips come quickly here with Jillian and Todd. You can catch them at the Home and Design Show again this evening at 7, tomorrow at 3 and 7, and stop by Jillian's booth as well. Russ, I'm going to go home and clean up my house.
Todd and Jillian, that was my favorite tip. I love you guys, by the way. Your chemistry is awesome. My favorite tip was the last one. I'll get you to talk to my wife and convince her we only need to renovate the kitchen once every 100 years.
Once every 100 years.
That's perfect, because it's been a little bit more frequently than that in the Ola Kate household, if you know what I mean.